It's the country's #1 RVing radio show, sponsored by RVTravel.com, with your host, Alan Warren, the RV Wingman.
We have got a guest that is going to be with us hopefully for the rest of the hour, and he is going to blow your mind. I cannot tell you his real name. I have promised to keep him anonymous. I cannot even tell you where he is calling from. But he is a former salesperson for Camping World. And Mr. X, thank you for agreeing to be on the show. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. I apologize for being tardy.
Well, that's okay, but live radio is live, and I think I winged it pretty good there for a few minutes. So give us a little bit of background, Mr. X. We've got several segments, and I know there are a tremendous number of people that want to hear kind of the behind-the-scenes stuff of what it's like working at Camping World and what buyers may need to know that are buying an RV from Camping World.
Well, I guess the easiest way to sum it up is everything you hear, everything you read online, everything you, I guess, are told about Camping World, whether you've been there or not or had experience with them before or not, it's all true. The good, the bad, and the ugly. The good being they have extremely cheap prices on RVs. That being said, it's kind of a trap to get you to finance with them. They're not in the business of selling RVs. They are in the business of financing them. That's where they make their money. That is where they have perfected the art of deception, where they get person after person to sign on the dotted line, and next thing you know, by the time you're home, months later, years later, you look and it kind of start running the numbers in your head, and things just start not adding up because of the process they have perfected.
Give me an example, Mr. X. Give me an example of how it works, how people end up getting rolled, essentially, and buried financially.
Well, what they'll do is they'll get you financed, and they will get the percentage, your interest rate, essentially, back from whichever banks, approve you, based on multiple factors, anything you would normally give to a car dealer or anything like that. Just check your credit and so forth. Then they tack on their percentage. And what they do is they get you to agree to purchase a coach based off of emotion. They feed off of your emotions and get you to sign and agree to buy an RV without even seeing the interest rate up front, making you believe that you purchased an RV when in reality you haven't yet.
But hang on, you were a salesman there, so you're telling me that you did that. I mean, this is something that you did on a regular basis?
Yes, because it's our livelihood, and at first it's not, even to us as salespeople, it's not rolled out this way. They even to us wrap it in a nice, pretty, shiny wrapper, and they've even perfected the system of presenting it to us in a way to where we don't really think anything of it. We think we're just selling RVs, but we don't see the behind the scenes, I guess, in the finance room after you've chosen your RV, after you've signed on the dotted line, you have your Foursquare.
Hey, hang on, Mr. X. Mr. X, hang on. Please don't hang up. Please. I want to keep you as long as we can. Folks, we have Mr. X on the line with us. He is just getting started. He is a former salesperson at Camping World, and he is going to, spill his proverbial guts this hour right here on the RV Show USA. To most folks listening, Mr. X, I believe that they are shocked at what you are beginning to tell us about working at Camping World. So tell us How does Camping World make their money if they sell these super cheap RVs? I mean, without going into a whole lot of detail, tell me their different profit streams, if you will.
They do not make money off of selling new RVs, which new RVs is about 95% of what they sell. They don't make any profit off of those because they undercut all other dealers' prices to entice people to come to Camping World, even though it's against every, conscious or subconscious, whatever, every thought in their minds. They say don't go to Camping World, but the price entices them.
So they make their money how? In the finance.
The system they've perfected of getting these people to sign on the dotted line without seeing an interest rate, they tack on massive percentages on top of the bank's percentages, and over time they get you in. I mean, in what was it, March alone of this past year? So the year, I guess what we're talking, a month and a half ago. Our location, I saw a sheet of paper that said, and it was a slow march, said that just off finance alone that month, just of what we sold, over $300,000 off of finance was to be made that month. Just
one location?
One location.
Who Mr. X,
guys.
Who is the most vulnerable Camping World customer when they walk in the door? Who is that person, and tell me about that. Why?
First-time buyers, for sure, because it's an overwhelming process, and they get consumed by it, emotional, and Camping World has perfected a system to feed off of that.
How does a salesperson, how did you roll them, work them over, if you will? How do other salespeople do it? I mean, these people are new, so they believe in the RV fairy, I guess, and they believe, well, the Camping World, they sponsor NASCAR or whatever they sponsor, they must be good people, but then you have to close the deal. You're the one that does it to them, aren't you?
Not necessarily, because we find them as salespeople. At least me personally, I was there to help people find the right RV for what they were specifically doing for the right price. So they don't buy something because it's a large purchase. So they don't buy something that they don't want, don't make a bad purchase, which you hear about a lot of times, people buying the wrong kind of unit, wanting to bring it back. That's because they had a sales guy who just wanted to make the sale. Regardless of their salesperson, it then goes, most of the time, unless you pay cash, it then goes to the finance department, where they handle all the paperwork, the obviously financials, and the so scary fine print.
Okay,
and that's where they get you to sign.
Okay, so what kind of, I've heard stories, and we've all heard stories, I think, about sleazy salespeople at Camping World, and I'm not saying that you were one of them, but what kinds of conversations would you hear after some unsuspecting couple walked out and they had pretty much just been taken advantage of, but they don't know it yet? Did that happen very often, and what were the conversations like between the other salespeople? Truthfully, without saying bad words, I mean, what was it like?
So they enjoy and like to hire that stereotypical sleazy sales guy for the simple fact of they don't ask questions. They are all about the money. They don't care how they're getting it. They listen to Camping World because Camping World's system is proven if the end result is, an unsatisfied, angry customer, but Camping World and the sales guy make money. Then you have, in the past year, Camping World has gone and tried to hire a different kind of person. Either they're going out and trying to actively hire a different kind of person, or they're just running out of sales guys to, come and go. They pick a specific kind of salesperson, for each customer, essentially. First-time buyers. If we had a guy that specialized in the first-time buyers to get them to boom, boom, boom within an hour. They were signed, sealed, delivered in a unit, and I've heard them as they walked out the door, a husband and wife one time, look at each other as they walked out the front door and said, wait, what unit did we just buy? They had no idea what RV they just bought.
It sounds almost unbelievable. I have a question. Just a question I have. I'm curious about. People in the know have told me that the former president of the RV dealer group, Roger Nuttalls, and his son Todd were the only people there that really knew how to keep Camping World moving forward. And both of those guys disappeared mysteriously. Roger walked away from like $4 million a year just before Christmas, and Todd was making like, I don't know, a little over $1 million a year. He disappeared on March the 8th. What have you heard, or have you heard about their departure? What have you heard about, them leaving? Anything?
Well, yeah. I mean, I've heard a lot about that. And it's not just them. I didn't hear about it from Camping World. I mean, that's just from me reading the news and I guess recognizing RV news and anything RV in the news. Well, there was insider trading going on throughout the top dogs in Camping World.
Well,
that's why they gutted everything.
There's a whole bunch of class action lawsuits, the pump and dump scheme. So, hey, I have a question. Did you ever feel guilty about how you sold somebody an RV, or you saw somebody that was sold an RV and you just shook your head, you felt ashamed?
I never felt ashamed for myself because that was why I didn't succeed there. I didn't play the game. I didn't use and abuse people. I would actually be, I was actually told on a Saturday, which is our busiest day in the money time for sales guys, I was told not to come in one Saturday because I didn't do it the way that they wanted me to do it. Because I just ethically could not and would not do what they were asking me to do. Now, did I see there was only so many times and so much I could do as one person trying to, I guess, stop this, at least at my location, as much as I possibly could. But yes, I did see some situations that it
Mr. X,
kind of angered me.
Were you fired or did you quit?
I resigned. Every customer I ever dealt with, whether I sold them a unit, didn't sell them a unit, maybe I just showed them some units, or maybe I just informed them on the whole process because it's knowledge that they needed to know. Whatever the case may be, every time after about a month of me working there and me kind of saying, hey, I'm not playing your game, but customers loved me because I was the sales guy that they dreamed about, but they didn't actually think they would ever get him. Well, my managers would come behind me and talk to every one of my customers. So how was Joe? What did he do? Did he do anything wrong? Do you have any complaints about him? They were looking for a reason to fire me. I mean, I showed up on time. I was the first one there, last one to leave. I received no help from management. My sales were actually given to other salespeople, both credit for the sale and even the commission on it, which still didn't complain. But I ended up resigning before they could find a reason to fire me. I stayed as long as I possibly could and tried to stick it out, and hopefully it would change. Hopefully it was just, I don't know.
All right, hey, Mr. X, hang on. We got to jump for a quick break, but I hope you folks are enjoying hearing what Mr. X has to say. It may not be what you want to hear, but I think it just could be what you need to hear. What an incredible bunch of stories from an ex-Camping World employee. When we come back from the break, I'm going to ask him about turnover in terms of employees. I'm going to ask him about the attitude from the community. Talk to me about service and so forth. Be right back.
Hi, this is Goose from the RV Show USA, and these are today's winners to ensure you get your $50 gift card. Make sure you send an email to info@thervshowusa.com. And if you would like to enter to win a $50 gift card of your very own, head over to thervshowusa.com and sign up for our email list. And if you like this video and would like to see more, make sure you hit the subscribe button. It's right over there. and turn on the notifications so you will be notified whenever a new video comes out for the RV Show USA. And as always, thank you for watching.